Let me just back that up a little bit. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stickity Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today, for the fourth time in a row, I got first place in another box tournament. They've been hosting box tournaments every Sunday. It's in real life, and like the DRAGONMAIDs have just been cutting up. I go through minor changes pretty much every week because for the most part, the list, it's like basically why fix what's not broken. The list is pretty much on point. I've got it in a place where I want to keep it. I only make minor changes here and there, which is more or less just experimenting with different ratios and trying different packages and more hand traps to see if I get better results. Even though like first place is good, there's always an area to improve. The deck's never like finished, and that's just like my kind of like philosophy on the deck. So it's never done. That's why like you guys see I keep profiling DRAGONMAIDs, but there's always something different every time, because even if it's that one difference, that slight thing, it's like it matters, you know. That's why I test it out and kind of see if I get better results. So whatever works and it doesn't have any problems, I keep it. And then cards that I kind of like am iffy about, I rotate them and try other cards to see if they kind of like are a better fit. So I'm gonna pull out my matches. I'll do the profile. I definitely got you guys on a combo video. Too many people have been asking. I'm going to show some combos, not all, because I got to keep my spice. And so I'll show you guys, I'll talk about my matches, I'll do the profile, I'll open the box. And so that this video isn't like, you know, way too long, because my content's already pretty, you know, my videos are pretty like chunky, you know, there's a lot of information in them. On a separate video, I'll do a combo tutorial so you guys can learn how to play DRAGONMAIDs, because this deck is very atrocious. Like, this deck is super duper strong. So we played 6 rounds. Actually, I'm sorry, 5 rounds in Swiss, and then top 4. So round 1, I played against PK Fire. I 2-0'd him. I actually pushed through Evil Swarm Nightmare and 3 Fog Blades, and I still ended on Seal plus Furious. Boarload Furious and Seal through 3 Fog Blades and a Nightmare. Game 2, it was just like pretty one-sided. I just like OTK'd him through what he had. I'm sorry, it's saying right here I left him at 700, so never mind. I guess he just scooped on the next turn. And then my second round, I got 2-0'd by another PK Fire player. It's really like, I hate that excuse of like I drew really poorly, but I really did. I opened, against this dude, I opened the Arm Dragon level 3, I opened Tempest, I opened Sloth Draco. Like, it just, I'm just like, bro, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you know? Anyways, I got 2-0'd. I told him GG's because nonetheless, you know, I'm going to take my L's. He ended on Lusa with Blades, and my hand just couldn't push through it. Like, honestly, if I had, like, maybe an extender or two, it definitely, because I played this dude so many times. Like, when I draw a good hand, I've pushed through his Fog Blades and his Dragoon and his hand traps before, but this time it was like, you know, he got me. Luckily, I beat him in the finals. I actually played him in the finals. When we were playing for who gets first place, I got him back. So, you know, and I didn't brick that time. I was like, yeah. I even told him, I was like, bro, I'm going to get you back. But yeah, he 2-0'd me. That was definitely like, wow, it was pretty one-sided. Like, he was spanking me. And then my third match, I played against Dinos. That was also a 2-0. He was playing Dogmatica Dinos. But he just couldn't handle the pressure, bro. Like, he really could not handle the pressure I kept putting up on him, and Dinos can't really grind that well, and my deck's engine just has way too much longevity. And there's a sense of inevitability when you're playing against Dragon Link or DRAGONMAIDs, any deck that can make Heretic, really. That's what I want to say. There's a sense of, like, there's a point of inevitability when your opponent does not have a response for this card and it goes off. It just changes the entire tempo of the game. Like, Seal's just disgusting. Like, I summoned Kwakimaru Draco against him, and he was forced to use Pill just to summon Pink and pop it, and I just obviously let it go through, because I'm like, I'm going to let you burn your Pink, I don't care, and I still kept my negates, and he just couldn't keep pushing through it. So Seal actually put him in a really awkward position, but that was a 2-0. Round 4... I'm sorry, yeah, it was 5 rounds. It was 5 rounds, and then it was top 4. Round 4, I 2-0'd the Bird Up deck, the Tri-Brigade Lyrillist deck. His ending board, he had the Wind Barrier statue with the, I'm trying to remember what it is, the 8 Mist Valley card. He drew the barrier, and he summoned it off of that Link 2 Tri-Brigade monster that summons. Her name is Jit something, whatever her name is. And then in phase, he in phase some more into the bear statue. But I had Parlor, which actually came up. That's why I was able to out his board, because I just drew a really, really good hand. And Parlor kind of carried me, and I was able to deal with the bear statue, force the Avion. I just took control of the duel. I've comboed up until I got a Shao, a Heretic Seal, and a Warlord Furious. And then I passed in phase. He tried to summon the Apex back. I negated and destroyed his what's it called, the Samora Link, and he scooped because he was playing with a top deck and a random card that obviously wasn't useful because he never used it. And then the second round, the second game I also like obliterated him. I drew Gamma, actually. I drew Gamma, Dark Ruler, and a really, really good hand. I decided maybe I don't need this Dark Ruler. I was like, maybe I'll just push for game and try to OTK. He ended on the double Dragon Lords, the Ancient Warriors Link, and the Samorg. I gammed the Samorg on in phase, and I was like, maybe I can just push to this bounce. I did not take into consideration that he had a dropless face down, but I still pushed through all of that, broke his board, and I just put way too many interruptions, so that was a 2-0. Round 5, I played against that same salty Trap Shit All player. I 2-0'd him. He actually, he won the dice roll this time. The second time I played him, because I played him again in top 4, I won the dice roll. But in round 5, he won the dice roll. He had Schism with Dino Mishis and some random cards that he just didn't. That's all he used against me, and I OTK'd through those. But he did cheat on a play with the Dino Mishis, because it was a play where basically he was using Dino Mishis on my Warlord Furious, and he targeted it, and I chained Warlord Furious to basically pop itself in a card, and then he still tried to discard his Shit All Beast on resolution. But to my knowledge, if Dino Mishis does not banish a card, it doesn't have to discard. The same way it doesn't discard for cost. So I have to make sure, I'm very sure of that, because the reason why that matters is because he put another Dark so Schism can summon Winda, and that's why I want to be absolutely positive that that was I feel like, and I really want to pick up my Dino Mishis, because I'm 100,000% that was not how it's supposed to work, and he knew that was the only chance he had, so he kind of just if I don't notice it, obviously you could get away with it, but I need to double check on that Dino Mishis ruling and make sure that Dino Mishis, if it doesn't banish its target, does it still discard? And I believe it doesn't, because that means it doesn't resolve. If it doesn't resolve, then you don't get to discard, just discards on resolution, not for cost. But anyways, then he set up the other game, which was round 2. He set up, I think, Punishment, and he did Fusion Summon for Construct with his Majestus Link, and he used Squamata. He got out Windy, summoned Beast. I held my Gamma the whole time until he went Construct Effect Engrave to target Schism. Then I Gammaed that, and so he was just sitting with a Droplets and a Punishment, and I played through that and killed him. And then we have top 4. I played him again. I literally played him round 5, and then round 6 in the top 4. I played him again. It was 2-0 all over again. This time I won the dice roll. It was just so one-sided. And then again, the same thing, the Dino Mishis play. It was just again, I'm bruh, you know what? I'm good. But anyways, yeah, 2-0'd him 2 times in a row. And then PK Fire, that was the final deck. So I played 2 people the same time, 2 people twice. I played the PK Fire dude that 2-0'd me. I played him last in the final round. And I played the Trap Doll dude back-to-back. But I 2-0'd him both times, and I was so happy because he's you would love to beat somebody that's so disrespectful. It just feels good. Oh, man, it feels so good. But anyways, the final round, PK Fire. He actually Nibiru'd me. You guys, this was the most clutch Nibiru play I've ever had with this deck. Through Nibiru, I summoned Shao, I summoned Heretic Seal, and I summoned Warlord Savage through Nibiru. I still put up 3 interruptions, and I had an Ash Blossom in hand. It was just crazy. That was actually 2-1. Game 1, he got it. I drew piss poor. I was bro, and I literally said, I'm not going to brick it against you again. And I literally drew 1 starter. And yeah, it was that hand, bro. I drew Draco, I drew Sloth. I drew 1 starter. It was the Chamber, but I had literally no extenders, no gas, nothing. And he had Dragoon, Fogblade. I just wasn't even playing through it. I just scooped because I was I'm not even going to waste time. If you just use your 1 negate, I have nothing. Literally my hand was dead. But then I got him on the second game. I pushed through that Nibiru. And then game 3 was really clutch because he had a Dragoon summon limit. And he basically, it was at the end of my turn, before I went to battle phase, I had a Boral Sword, I had Pisty, I had a Tracer that came. I got Pisty. I didn't use a Tracer yet. I had a Red MD up, and he actually used his Dragoon Negate on my changeover, and I changeover Bounce from Grave, and then I was able to summon the Shao. So by then it was when he could activate the summon limit, I was gonna negate it, but he didn't activate the summon limit. But no matter what, I had the Shao up. Like, so the changeover is actually broken because he negated it, which he has no choice. Otherwise, I summon a monster that's bigger than his Dragoon. And then I just use changeover as a graveyard effect, bounce my chamber. And my second summon was Shao, so even if he activated summon limit, I just Shao negate. And he literally had no cards left in hand. He had no follow-up. He just had Dragoon summon limit. And in his graveyard was no PK cards except for the Greaves that special summons from hand. But he had no other PKs in his grave. All the rest were banished. So he had no follow-up. He was playing with Dragoon and a top deck. And there was just like no way. I like just pushed through it. It was like, bro. It would like literally changeover was just so broken in that match. Like it was just too good because it was a must negate and then I just got it back from grave and then I just activated it again. So it was funny because Dragoon had to negate it, but I was getting Shao out no matter what. So it was just stupid. But those were my matchups. Now let's go ahead and get into this list. I'll put side and extra separate and we're going to start with the starters. A few things have changed. And one thing I had to do, which really hurt, was I played one nurse today. And I did actually miss it. So moving forward, I'm going right back to 2 nurse. I just wanted to try a 4-card engine. So nurse and 3 other cards is what I cut. But I regret it. And my wife signed my nurses, so I really should have played both of them. But we have, for starters, 4 black medals. Black medals OP. I'm looking for supers because I want to actually bling this deck out because this is like pretty much my main deck right now. This format. I've been doing better with Dragon Maids than I do with Shaddolls, even though I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm like a beast with Shaddolls. Dragon Maids just can combo through so much more, and their boards are a lot more unfair, and they're able to OTK more consistently, and they grind better than Shaddolls. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. And then we have 4 copies of Parlor. Goldsark is an honorary Parlor because you just banish Tempest and search it. So you have 8 1-card starters. And then we have 3 copies of Chamber. Chamber is another 1-card starter. These are 1-card combos by themselves. You can OTK your opponent or into multiple interruptions because these is full Guard Dragon combo off 1 card, which is disgusting. Romulus is just too OP. Very, very OP. The guys, just be cognizant of Chamber's tag out because they're actually, I could have done it and I messed up because truth be told, there was a point where I should have just let Shao die instead of negate something. So that way I could just bring the Shao back from grave off of Chamber in battle phase and still have the negate turned on. So there are times when you literally forget that, but you just want to keep reminding yourself that Chamber can bring Shao back. So sometimes when you're in a position where Shao's getting threatened, whether it's off Chuchi or punishment or anything like that, you can just let it die and then just bring it back. Whether it's off Hospitality, because you can do that if it's properly summoned, or Chamber in battle phase. There's different ways to do it. And then we have 3 Kitchen. Kitchen is still very disgusting because I play, I think, 22 extenders now. If I'm not mistaken, it should be 22 extenders. Kitchen plus any extender is pretty much the same thing as Parlor Chamber, except the difference is if it's Kitchen and a Reborn, you get to dump Chamber or Parlor and Reborn them and get a search or a dump and then go into your Romulus, so you get a lot more value. It's Kitchen plus an extender is stronger than Parlor or Chamber by themselves, but these require less. So it's still like you have 2-card, your combos are pretty much 2-card combos, 1-card combos. The combo where you end on VFD and Shao and Seal and Borreload Savage and Tidying, that combo, it's like a 3 to 4 card combo, but because you have to discard for the Ravine and you have to account for the cards, you pretty much burn and exhaust your entire hand, and then you use the Trishula Fusion to banish Tempest and get a Parlor for your follow-up, which your follow-up comes off with Tidying and Seal, but just to have another card. But you have 3-card combos where you can end on VFD plus like Savage and Seal, and that's still really, really good because you have an Omni Negate, a Bounce, and VFD don't let them play, and your follow-up plays actually come from the Seal. So every board that you make with this deck gets to replace itself, which is super duper good because even if they like Dark Roller evenly, you did everything they could, if they don't OTK you, it's all for nothing because you can just rebuild pretty much the same board. You have multiple Seals, you have multiple Shaos. It actually came up today where I was able to do it, but I didn't, where I could have T-Droplets my Borreload Savage, and I could have Tidying to bounce it to summon it again next turn, but I just didn't. And then we have the 1 Nurse. My wife actually signed these because, like I said, Nurse looks the most like my wife. She's pretty much the sexiest Dragon Maid if you ask me. She's just not the thickest. That's Parlor. Parlor definitely gets that. But my wife signed it. I should have been playing 2 because I actually did miss the second one. But again, just experimentation. You should be playing 2 Nurse if you're like me. And then I played 2 Tracers. 1 Charger, and then also I'm playing Arm Dragon Thunder level 3. This card is because I'm playing 6 E-Telly, so this deck is just super gas now. This deck is just very, very disgusting. It's way too good. I think I plus 3'd in the battle phase multiple times. I mean, every battle phase is a plus, but I got mad pluses in the battle phase today because against Trapdolls, Battle phase got me so much cards, and then I also literally forced out 2 traps in the battle phase, and then main phase 2, I just comboed. I haven't got to my combo yet. All I did was put bodies on field and dump anagrams, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to go to battle phase because it was just a face down should all beast and Ecclesia. I was like, let me put pressure and try to go for a lot of damage, and he was scared enough to flip both his traps, and it was punishment Dinomicious. And then main phase 2, I was able to just full combo, and I literally ended on multiple interruptions. So not only did I plus in my battle phase, but my DRAGONMAIDs returned to my hand, which were pluses. And then I also forced 2 traps out, and all I did was just bounce my DRAGONMAIDs and I, had the bodies I had, which was just crazy. So this deck is just really, really good, and time again, it proves itself over and over to me. That's why there's a level of comfort I have with playing this, where I have the level of comfort comes with the confidence that I know I'm always going to do good with this deck. No matter what, if I get paired against the best deck, I've stomped all over Virtual Worlds and Drytrons with this deck, and Dinos, and even Zodiac Eldritch is pretty much the buy with this deck. So this deck is just so good, you guys. I just can't stress enough how powerful DRAGONMAIDs are. They're like, for me, they're like probably the best deck right now. Because the way the format is, Kuwakimaru Draco and Amorphage Sloth are literally like game enders. And you can set up a board with multiple interruptions and a VFD. On top of that, you get a seal that gives you access to those cards. And Draco just destroys like Dogmatica and Shaddolls, and it destroys Dragon Link. It absolutely destroys Drytrons and ABCs and all these light and dark based decks. And Amorphage Sloth kills everything else, including like Zoo Eldritch. Now for the extenders, I'm on 3 War Legacy Guard Dragon. This card is just ridiculously broken. It's way too good in this deck. This is like probably one of the best decks to ever play any Guard Dragon cards, because your bodies all plus when they're summoned. So when you're going LP Pisty, you're summoning bodies that are going to net you more advantage and then get converted into materials that just net you more advantage. So like this deck sometimes just pluses so much that, I think I had like 8 or 9 cards and I had to commit. Otherwise, I'm just going to discard on end phase. So I literally was just making plays just so that I don't have to discard my cards because I had too much resources. This deck outgrinds everything. But we have 3 War Legacy, 3 Hospitality. Hospitality is just disgusting. And then we have my 6 E-Tellies. So I'm playing 3 Quick Launch. And also, this is the new 4-card engine I was talking about, the Arm Dragon and the Target. I just wanted to test it and see if it made a difference, and it did. I actually did draw a weird hand with 1 starter and an extender, and this was the 1 extender. But if I wasn't playing this would have been the hand trap, and it was just going to be 1 starter, so I died a 1 hand trap on the starter. So this card does make a difference. It's pretty significant. I mean, you literally have 6 E-Tellies, and in my deck, any way to get 2 dragons on the field is basically like Isolde and Infernobles, where you get 2 warriors, you win the game. In this deck, you get 2 dragons on the field, you just win the game. And then we have 3 Noctovision. Noctovision's gas. This card lets you combo through pretty much every hand trap on a starter except for Gamma, unless it's it depends when they Gamma sometimes, because if it's black metal chain blocking with this, it's really hard to Gamma because this is chain link 3. So if they Gamma this, everything else resolves. So this card just lets you push through cards like Ash extremely well, cards like Bell, all that stuff. Nocto basically lets you just combo through hand traps, and it lets you draw, which gets you just into way more advantage. This card off of not the Heretic, but the Dragoonity Romulus is just disgusting. You're literally getting a draw and a search on top of plussing off of your maids. And when you open this plus black metal, it's just freaking insane. And then for more extenders, I played 2 Foolish. And also, one of my close friends actually rarity bumped me. I gave him some of my leftover rocket cards, and then my common Red MD, he gave me a secret. So now I'm rarity bumping the quick launches. I traded common quick launches and Invoke Macabre to somebody for 3 quick launches. That's what he wanted. And then I got this and the Tempest for cards I didn't really need. It was just extra Dragon Link stuff he was trying to build. Like Dragon Link, I had like an extra Striker Dragon and some Rocket cards, and I got to rarity bump. So now I'm playing like the secrets. I'm super happy because this deck is so important to me. Rarity is going to matter eventually. So we have these are extenders as well. They kind of diminish in quality if you see the top and the middle are like better. Nocto's pretty high quality. I think it's up there with like Quick Launch. I think Nocto is always going to be better than Arm Dragon Flash. The reason why Quick Launch is better than Flash is because it summons a card that actually does something. The Tracer does do stuff. But the Flash doesn't. It's just an extra body. And speaking of Tracer was pretty insane. I had to leave it on field playing conservative, and I got a free plus. I activated Tidying to target Tracer, Chain Tracer, pop Tidying, and I got a bounce and a summon. Just got a lot of recursion off of it. And then continuing, we have Router. So these are like the 3 high-level extender dragons. And then we have Ravine. Ravine is just silly. This card is very, very good. And then we have Boot Sector Launch, which, again, this card, it's not like you don't live or die. Like, you can't, it's not like if you get, because I've noticed some people have been literally negating Striker. And in their mind, I feel like they just think that if they stop launch, I don't get to make Savage. But I pretty much make Savage anyway, whether it's off quick launch or I'm just literally going LP into the Tracer, or if I just literally go Ravine, dump the Tracer and bring it back off of a Reborn card like Pissy or something like that. This card, like, because people have started, I think they're just trying to figure out how to beat my deck, and like hand trapping at different points. Like when I'm playing the same people, they're using their hand traps at different times now, but this is not a choke point at all. It's just free real estate. So we have the starters and the extenders, and then the rest of the deck is going to be the hand traps. I think I put my extenders on top of the hand traps, and then the engine requirements. So we have 3 Ash, and then 3 Bell. Bell is very disgusting. I actually love Bell a lot. You can literally negate the activation of Shaddoll Schism, and it goes to the grave with Bell. Bell against Nadir Servant. Bell is incredibly good against Drytron and Virtual World. Ghost Bell is actually really, really disgusting. Even against combo decks, they have a lot of extenders that you can Bell. If you Bell World Legacy Guard Dragon against Dragon Link, it does make it a little bit harder. And because now they have to commit 2 bodies to get LP and Pissy instead of 1, which just means move the zone. Then we have Double Crow and Double Meister. I'm still just playing the 10 hand traps. I like Crow and Meister, and I moved Nibiru to the side. I was main decking like I think 2 Nibirus, but just again testing the new Armed Dragon cards. And then my anagrams are going to be Lorpor and Ernest. These cards are just really, really, really good. Ernest. These cards like actually do stuff. I miss Tinkek though. I really do. I missed it today. I could have Tinkeked my Shao to put it at 55, and that was gonna be like really, really easy, like GG easy. Then we have Slop and Draco. These cards literally just win you the duel. These are your insurance policy for every board you make. If you get Dark Ruler or Droplets, your seal can always tribute 4 cost and still resolve its graveyard effect. I've had people literally say you can't because it's droplets, but it has another effect if it's tributed that activates in the grave, or if it goes to the Banish Zone, it can still activate. So Seal, even if your board gets droplets, you can have one of these plus a Tidying, and believe it or not, because your opponent has to droplets 3 to 4 cards, they're normally playing with their 1 starter and like that 1 extender, and when you get to get this Floodgate out and then Tidying one of their cards, like I pretty much never really lost when I brought out a Draco or a Sloth. It was always like GG. I've even done Sloth to summon, lock my opponent out, and then Tidying to bounce it, because I didn't have any high-level dragons. So I Tidying, get back, and then I use it as a fusion material for Shao. So Seal was like a triple purpose. Like, you plus so much off of Seal. These are just targets to make Seal 2 interruptions in 1. They're really disgusting. And when you don't need these, you just go for the advantage game and summon your Maids or your Black Metal or anything that's going to net you advantage for your follow-ups. And then I'm on double changeover. I think 2 is 100% correct, and triple Tidying. This trap is just everything. This trap bounces in grave or field. It's a follow-up. It's literally an interruption plus 2 follow-ups, because you bounce the main, and then next turn you can just banish the summon. So this card just snowballs. It nets you so much resources. Now we're going to get into the side. I sided triple Nib. Let me check time here. Okay, we're good. So I sided triple Nib, and then I sided triple Lancia. I just pretty much respect combo, because my deck's super ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculously good against trap decks. So I've learned actually to not side any back row hate. I know it sounds crazy, but Dragon Maids are just a different breed. Like, Dragon Link itself isn't really that good against trap decks, because they have like certain floodgates that can stop you, but because Dragon Maids can search downtime and Tidying, they can consistently bounce the traps and just grind through them. And summoning Shao, and summoning Seal consistently just let you keep pushing through those back roads over and over. And the fact that you can fusion into Borreload Furious to keep popping those traps. So I think just the fusion aspect of Dragon Maids, that's what makes it like so unique compared to Dragon Link, is you have these fusions that let you apply additional pressure to your inboards, and they let you grind through the back rows. Like, Shao's always going to force multiple interruptions, because you need 1 to force the negate and 1 to actually keep the pressure. So Shao always answers 2 traps at once. So we have Gamma, Nib, Lancia. I actually took out Droll for Dark Ruler, because against Drytron, I'd rather Dark Ruler them than Droll them, to be honest, because if I Droll them, there's a chance that they could still have like Orange Light or Call By, but with Dark Ruler, I could just play through their silly little Orange Light, and I can just break their board, set up a Seal plus multiple negates, and then I summon the Kwakimaru Draco on their turn, and they can't play again. So it's just, I like Dark Ruler better. It's just to each his own though. And then we have Feather Duster. Since I had like one slot because of how like my side was, I used to like play on 2 Nibiru's in the main. So there used to be like 3 slots for the Drolls, but I actually put the 2 Nibiru's back into the side, and then I put the Feather Duster. I never drew it. I don't really need it, but I was just like, what one card am I really going to side? You know, it's like, I could side another DRAGONMAID card, but it's like Downtime is really the one I use for back row decks. When I play against Control, I just go for Downtime, and this is how like I can just keep looping Mystic Mine so they just can't keep it up on the field, and keep bouncing the Eldritch Traps and the Shaddoll's. The Shaddoll Trap deck is so popular. This card just single-handedly destroys that deck. So yeah, now we're gonna get into the extra. We have Double Shao, Double House. These are actually Shao, House, and also Seal are pretty much the most important cards in your extra deck. These, you kind of like live or die by these cards. Like if you can't get them out, there will be games that you'll lose because you didn't summon them. But when you summon these cards, they normally win you games all the time. Furious is just an additional option. This card is very, very clutch, and I'm glad that it's in the arsenal. I did not summon VFD once today. I just didn't feel the need to. It's more or less like a it's like an extra win condition in case I just feel like the matchup is just way too strong. Like if I'm up against a deck that's way too powerful and I know that they can push through multiple negates, like if it's Zodiac and I don't end on Seal, sometimes VFD is better so they can attack. Or like if, you know, they drew something out, Seal, for example, like Call By. So it just depends, but I never summoned VFD today, nor the Trishula Fusion, but it is there. And it's just more haymakers. You know, you don't commit every boss monster to your inboard, so there'll be times when you still haven't summoned this, or you still haven't made this, or sometimes I don't even end on Savage. I've just made Seal, Tiding with Ash, and a Shao, and it's just like literally 4 interruptions. I'm like, I didn't even guard Dragon combo against Dolls, and I was like, bro, I'm just gonna pass on this board, and it was good enough to carry me. You just don't overcommit when you don't have to. You want to save your heavy hitters for later on in case you need them. So those are like all the heavy hitting boss monsters. And then for the links, I know this, people like would say this is a Dragon Link deck, but I really don't play that many links for it to be a Dragon Link deck. But we have the 1 Striker, 1 LP, 1 Pissy. This is probably why a lot of people think this is a Dragon Link, but it's not. And then the 1 Romulus. And then we have Sword, which is a game ender. Romulus always equals Sword, pretty much. So if Romulus resolves and they don't have any hand traps, just by summoning Romulus, I can put up 36, 3,000, and 28, and basically, I can put up 36, 3,000, 66 plus 28. I can put 9,400 damage on board before resolving Sword. So it's typically going to be like 12,400 damage, which is just insane. And that's the extra deck. That's pretty much the profile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bust this box open. You guys are more than welcome to just stop watching. And don't forget, I will get you on the combo video. I know people keep asking. I'll definitely get you on the combo video, but I'm not just going to teach you how to play the entire deck, you know. Some stuff you're going to have to just learn through trial and error for yourself, and I think it's better for you. It's more rewarding for you to learn some combos yourself, but I will teach you some of the basics. Just the needs to knows versus the nice to knows. You know, the needs to knows are more important. So now, since this is like my 4th or 5th box from these tourneys, at this point, I'm pulling Prosperity, and I'm pulling the Starlight Rare. So let's go ahead and get it popping. If this video cuts off, because once you reach a 33-minute mark, it'll automatically cut off. So hopefully I can get these packs open sooner. Let me go ahead and just take this jewelry off. Oh, well, there goes one secret off the way. And I like actually like picked up a 3rd one of this today. It kind of sucks. But I did need it, you know, obviously to play if I wanted to play the 3. We got the Eldritch card, the new Golden Land. Just hopefully the other secret's good, because I've been pretty much getting average, like, butt cheek secrets from all these boxes. I'm not trying to pull those no more, so I'm just going to speed through these packs. You guys have seen this so much. It's more or less for you guys to see what my pulls are than, like, watching the actual pack opening. If I could just have like some kind of editing where I just skip to the end and show the packs, that'll be better, but I ain't got that right now. So let's see. I don't know what that card does. Let's just get this open. Let me take my watch off. We ain't got time for that. Just get straight to the holo. Okay, that's the Dream Mirror card. Okay, okay. Whew, them comments is piling up. Okay, that's the Fabled. The commons are pretty nice though in this set. I like this. I actually play this in my virtual worlds. I know a lot of people do not play it, but this is actually in my virtual worlds. I like it. They just don't really have an Omni Negate, so I think this is pretty important just to have a different form of interaction. Like VFD is nice, so is Chuchi, and like, you know, your generic XYZs like Bamboozling, but virtual worlds do not have a card that says if this card's activated, negate the activation. So I feel like this card is worth it to try at least, because you pretty much have spells and traps and monsters that you can attach to it to give it whatever negation you need. For the most part, you're going to be wanting to give it spell and monster a lot of the times. Because if you're playing against Eldritch, you already won. If you're playing virtual worlds against Eldritch, because Chuchi Shinshin's too strong. And even if they banish the Shinshin, you just recycle it and summon it again. So your Eldritch matchup is pretty fair. So you shouldn't really be worried about attaching traps to that. You just want to go for spells, monsters. I really like this card. I definitely will update my virtual world deck. I actually want to, once I get my extra deck finished, because I want to X-Save Vergodems, because I actually like to hand loop with my virtual worlds. I still end on VFD Chuchi just like everybody else, except I loop Godems 3 times first, and then I go into VFD. Because I like to have the same end board that virtual world has, but with my opponent playing with 3 less cards, 4 less cards if they hand trap me and I push through it. So, okay, so far so good. But yeah, my virtual world list will definitely be updated. Once I get my Chao Feng and my Godems and my Zeus, those are pretty much the cards I'm missing. I'll definitely will be updating it. Because I've been wanting to play virtual worlds because that deck is just so cool, it's so fun. And it's a very, I know some people might not agree with me, but that deck is a very, very skillful deck. Like, virtual worlds is not really easy per se. I mean, there's some standard stuff that pretty much everybody knows because they've seen it so much, but yes! Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Finally, I knew it! Oh, yes! Oh, dang, that was so plus, bro. That was so plus. Oh, I actually want to play this in my virtual worlds. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad I pulled this. Oh, but yeah, that deck is so skillful, you guys. I can't wait to get the rest of the cards for my virtual worlds. I might just put this in my binder for now just to, bling it out and make people want to buy it, because I'm not sure. I know, my main deck is DRAGONMAIDs, and so I don't necessarily need this, but I know one day I'm going to want to buy it, and it's nice to have one already. At this point, I should have had a playset, the amount of boxes that I've opened. But this was so plus today. This was so plus. I definitely got that little $10 entry fee back. Whew, I hope the video caught that one. But yeah, you guys, God bless you guys. Jesus loves you. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Lord Jesus Christ. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord Jesus, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus I pray. Thank you, Father. Amen. Peace.